Okay, welcome to podcast of NOPaw Podcast brought to you by Laughing Coyote Entertainment. We are here with,
Dana Desiderio, a.k.a. Mrs. A.
you know, Mrs. A from the 50 Shades series. Well, the 50 Shades of A series. All right, we'll start with our first question. What can you tell us and our listeners about Navajo culture's do and don'ts?
Well, I have a lot of different information. There's so many different stories and there's so many different versions. It all depends on the lessons you're trying to teach. For example, there are female lessons, there are male lessons, there are clan lessons that are kept by matrilineal clans. Through kinship, through careful guidance and mentorship. My experience as a female, being raised Navajo by a strong Navajo family, that's my first clan. So a lot of specific teachings come out of that. So, which is a beauty way, we're very, very gentle and we're mentoring, we foster, a good environment for health. And, Navajos are very romantic. Their aesthetics are something that, huge part of our lives.
When you say romantic, be more specific.
Romantic, I mean, think about it. It's all lonely in the hogan and the fire is going. There's like a bucket of water there. The Winishgish is right there, the gentle beating of the loom being worked on by a Navajo lady, all pretty with her tiyel, It's romantic. And then here comes her husking, he went all hunting and he brings back a big old, strap from a big old elk or something like that. So it's romantic. I mean, I don't know if you like that kind of stuff, but I do, so. So anyway, there's different kinds of teachings, there's Hajon, Chikecho, romantic aesthetics. And I don't want to romanticize Navajos, because that's a bad thing with stereotyping and stuff. But just thinking of a beauty way, kind of Hajon, those are gentle teachings. So there are some things that you have to do and not do in a gentle way. And then there are Hashke, mean or strict teachings. Those are mostly male teachings. The people who teach these, like Hajonji ones, are your mom's sisters, your maternal aunts, your grandma, all your different grandmas, even your sisters can be teachers. But for Hashke, your mom's brother will be the one to discipline you when you get out of line, man. Oh, man, your uncle is the one that's going to get you. And he's the one that's supposed to tell you also what to do and what not to do. And he's supposed to help you understand the Navajo world around you. There's so many different philosophies, so many different teachings, east, south, west, north, up above, down below, all around us. All of these different directions, male and female, all of them have counterpart. Duality is huge in Navajo. So,
all right, can you tell me about the philosophy with the north, east, south, and west? With the sacred mountains?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so in the east is Haha'a and Sisnajin. So that mountain is decorated with white shell, and that mountain is the white light is symbolic of a crystal light, crystal fire. It's like the first very light, the first dawn light that comes up. It's like kind of like an inception. It's a beginning. It's your initial thought. You're supposed to be waiting for this time, the most sacred time of day. And so your clarity of mind, your focus, your motivation, your drive, all of the good things that could be brought to this life, they could begin with a thought. So in the east, you have Nsahakis, that white light. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
You ever look at it and wait for the dawn, you see it comes up.
So when you mention waiting for the east, that kind of reminds me of the old teachings where they were talking about Navajo youth used to
Oh, yeah.
or wake up and run towards the east.
Yeah. It's part of that good stuff. You're supposed to be mentally fit, which is like all kinds of fit. Physically fit, mentally fit, spiritually fit. So that action of actually getting out there, and then you're supposed to yell too. You're supposed to let the holy people hear you. So back to your first question about some of the do's and don'ts. Some of the things that you're supposed to do are get up early, wait. So like around 4 a.m. when it's still all black, you'll see that white light. You're supposed to wait for it, be ready for it, have your house all cleaned up, have everything all straightened up, you have your coffee going or whatever, you know, you have your morning routine. And then you go out there and then you speak to your Che Hasht Eilke. And
Oh, so that's why they call it Jay's Coffee.
Che's Coffee, yeah. Che's Coffee is already ready for Che Hasht Eilke in the morning. So, yeah, some of the things that you do. And so you put that focus, that clarity into a prayer, and then you use white corn to put some offerings down. You know, 4 offerings on the horizon, one just a little over the other. And then that's how you begin your day. And that in Sahakes is a driving force. Like, it's kind of like your passion, like your need to know. Like you get into some kind of field of study because it means something to you. You have passion for it. You like it. You thrive for it. You grow with it. And that's all embodied by that Sahakes, that white light. So, okay, then we move Shabak Echo because everything in this universe, in Navajo universe at least, goes according to the movement of the sun. So southwise, Shada'ah is south. So the mountain there, that one is Tzotzil. Everyone calls it Tzotzil, but I've been informed that it's called Tzotzil. So it's just a little bit of different inflection. But over there we have something called Nahata. And okay, so Blue Mountain, Turquoise Mountain, it's turquoise because of the way the sun moves, like the way it progresses through the day. Like you have the dawn and then you move to daylight, broad daylight, like noontime. The blue, beautiful blue sky, Nihotsui, is why blue is representative of the south. And Nahata means that you have a plan, you have a procedure, you have things laid out for you. You have an idea of how to make that goal that you began with come to fruition. So noontime, you're actively moving about things. You're going through things, like you're doing it. You are talking with people. You're planning things out. You got it all set in your calendar. You have all kinds of appointments. You have things lined up. You have things ready for today. You have stuff for tomorrow, like, and so forth. It just goes. So that Nahata is...
So basically, waking up early in the morning, getting ready, beating the sun pretty much preps you for the rest of the day?
Yeah. So Nsakes leads into Nahata. So at Nahata, you're an active motion. You have a clarity of mind to put things into place for the future. So during this time of daytime, the blue twilight is what they call it in English. English translations are just overrated. That's a time for Nahata, time for action, time for going, time for procedures. Yeah. So some of the things that you do are you get Kharadin at noontime, and you just put a little pinch in your mouth on top of your head for your feather that reaches the sky, and then a little pinch for your path right in front of you. Kharadin Atin, that's good path, good way of living. Like if you abide by.
So you do another prayer and
yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Navajos are super prayerful beings. Everyone is holy, like you are, I am, everybody. We all have this holiness to us, like it's divine that was made for us. So another prayer, little Tkhadidin, put it on your path, the Tkhadidin Atin, and you abide by all of these things. That's the path that you will actually live. Mm-hmm. So again, Shobik Echo, we move to the west. So in the west, we have a mountain called Doko Slid. And that mountain is symbolized with a yellow color. And
yeah.
The stone for that one is Di Chitli, which is abalone. So in the east, there was a white shell, that Yolkai. And in the south is turquoise, turquoise beads. In the west, it's Di Chitli. So it's a shiny shell, and it's yellow because of Nehutsui. Nehutsui indicates the sunlight. You know, that gorgeous light, like it's bright, it filters out so many different purples, reds, pinks, golds, like bright, so beautiful. So Nehutsui is that yellow light, that sunlight, the sunset event. That's what that is.
All right.
So over there we have Ayo Otne and Ina. So this philosophy, it all comes together, like your thought and sahakis, and then it goes to nahata, your action during the day. So this is like all of the events have some kind of result. So you think about it like ina, having a life, having a home, having a family, having some kind of success. You know, you have something good. You have, you know, a good blanket. You have a good jacket. You have good things. This is goodness in life. You have some kind of fruit of your efforts, and that's directly linked to ayo otne. So ayo otne is deep in your heart, like way deep in your shijeye, you know. Oh, shijeye, you know, you should say that instead of oh, heart. Just kidding. I want to make Valentine cards like that. But like,
I'll buy them.
I should do this. But ayo otne is best expressed in the way that my grandma prayed for me. You know, she's been gone for so long, but I still remember, and it's still endearing to remember her voice and her tone. And, you know, she was a real old woman. She still sat up, you know, in the prayer service with me, and she prayed on my behalf that I would have wonderful things and good stuff from, you know, that deep love and caring for your own
family.
Yeah. So that ina ayo otne, that's a value, a principal value in Navajo. Like I said, we're romantics. We have so much love. It's not all macho and masculine. We do have masculinities, but for real, I think that Navajos are romantic.
I didn't even know that.
So again, with a prayerful lifestyle, some of the things you do are you recognize good things that happen. You learned something, you did something turned out good for you. You ate good today. You ate something. You know, you have family around you, you have a home. So during that sunset time, you take yellow corn, and then you do the same on the horizon for different levels, rising a little bit above each one. You do that offering, but this time it's to your Che Hesh'eyawan, and he's the one who sits on the west side. So Hesh'eyalta is on the east, and Hesh'eyawan's on the west, and they meet right perfectly at the center, just perfect against aligned each other. So in the morning you recognize your Che Hesh'eyalta. Afternoon, you recognize your Che Hesh'eyawan, and you say, Ahihe. And so, you know, it was really good. It came out this way for us. So put that in that yellow corn offering. One more time, Shabak Echo movement to the north. The Bensa, that's, what do you call it? Bashini.
Bashini?
Bashini Zil. That is Zil, yeah. So all of these mountains, they have names like Yolkai Zil, Dolkleji Zil, Dichilid Zil, Bashini Zil. So Bashini is obsidian, and that's volcanic glass. It's one of my favorite kind of rocks.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a geologist at heart, and I love rocks. So of course, obsidian is one of my favorite because it's shiny. Okay, so the Bensa is decorated with Bashini, and it's represented by Chalcheth. Now, Chalcheth is seen something as very negative, like, yeah, Chalcheth, you know, that's what my grandma used to say. Chalcheth, don't be it don jagada, you know, like, don't be running around out there in the nighttime, it's bad for you.
No.
She's right, you know, but it's also...
So why did people say that? Not running around at nighttime.
Just Bod said, you know, things are not good, lurk in darkness. So, Chalcheth gets a real bad rap because of that danger. And the philosophy of the north of Nahakos is that Sihasin is a reflective time. It's also a time of awareness. It's a time of hope, and it's also a rejuvenating time. But most of all, in my understanding, it's a reflective time. So Chalcheth doesn't mean like like all the time. It just means you had to have a heightened awareness of your own self, your own identity, who you are. Like, you know yourself better than anyone else. So that is your protection. Like, no matter what kind of stuff happens around you, this awareness, this sihasin sits in the north. It's a really good thing. It's a really protective time. So, like being prayerful Navajos, some of the things that you do, well, this is what my Che did anyways. He got a glass of water, and, you know, in his own way, he would reflect. He'd be praying about it in his mind, you know. And then when he is done, he'll drink the water.
When you say reflect, Is he like looking at
he'd
his
be
reflection?
quiet, he'd just be quiet sitting
Oh.
there.
Oh, all right. I thought he was looking at his reflection in the
Oh,
water.
like in the water?
Yeah.
He could have been. He never told me,
Yeah.
He could have. But yeah, so you have to begin with a thought, you have a plan, you have a result, and then you have a reflection. And that's a time that,
So would you say that the Four Corners philosophy or the Four Sacred Mountain philosophy would also count as do's and don'ts too?
Yep, there are certain things you do and certain things you don't do. So some of the things that you should do are be prayerful and also be mindful, and using all of these four philosophical tenets. Keep in mind that this is a cycle and it rejuvenates every day. It happens all the time, over and over again. It helps create purpose for life, really deep meaningfulness.
Yeah.
It has so many teachers in its own.
All right. So on to our next question. What about the Navajo language? And some of our own Diné people do not understand our own language. Why is that?
Man, that's real sad. I can blame my parents. I can blame my aunts, my uncles, even my grandparents for not talking to me enough. I can blame everybody. I can blame the federal government for removing our language from our children, ripping it from them. I can blame them again for trying to kill us off, save the man, kill the Indian. I can blame all kinds of people all day. I could get real mad. But no. I think people don't speak the language anymore, for real, is that they don't value it. If you valued it,
When you'd say value, be more specific.
Like, they don't care. Like, why speak Navajo, Ha'ini? Yeah, they don't want it. They don't care about it. If they really wanted to speak, they would find ways to learn. Like, it's a personal responsibility to learn. Learn your language, learn your culture, learn what you're supposed to do, what you shouldn't do. These are all personal responsibilities. Like, I went through a place in my life where I was mad at everybody. Like, I was like, geez, how come, why me? Like, man, I just want to be Navajo, I'm trying to be Navajo all the time, but...
Yeah, I actually had that. I was just so angry back in my youth. Because I was, I'm actually half Navajo and half Mojave.
Oh, okay.
And my family told me I should decide on which one I want to claim, which culture.
Yeah, the government makes you choose too.
Yeah. I was like, no, screw that. I want both.
I think that's admirable goal to be both. I have a nephew and a niece who are half Pueblo and then they're half Navajo, and their dad and my cousin, they're doing their best to teach their children both ways at the same time.
Oh, that's good.
So there's no weakness there. It's only strength to be had. Two ways of knowing. In addition to, of course, the Western that we're all so deeply engrossed in.
Yeah. So, about creation stories, what is your favorite? Can you tell us?
Let me see. Well, my favorite creation story is the one about Nehuatl, and that's the Black World. It's the one that I know most about because it seems it's more basic. It's more simple to me, at least, in my understanding.
Wasn't the Black World filled with like insects and?
Yeah, small things.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about this for quite some time, especially with my work, like as a Diné studies major, and also do some informal teaching with NASA.
With NASA?
Yeah, with NASA. So
that's cool.
It's really awesome. They're actually very open-minded about indigenous ways of knowing and understanding the universe. Like, things that they're barely discovering are embedded in indigenous knowledge, and they're just blown away by it. They love it. But
I remember a story that was told to me. Something about NASA. A group of scientists were out here studying something. Then the sheep herder and his son stumbled across them, and they asked if they could leave a recorded message. So the guys actually left a recorded message in Navajo, and the scientists didn't know what it meant because they tried telling the son to translate, but he said no, and they went to town, tried asking people. They listened to the message, they laughed, and just walked off and refused to translate. Yeah, until actually they paid someone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and what I was told from that, the message said, you better watch out for these guys. They're after your lane.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that story was crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few years ago when they were sending a Mars rover into space, they gave the whole Navajo community a chance to leave a recorded message and have that sent on to Mars.
Yeah.
So we had a booth at Navajo Nation Fair at that time, and it was kind of like, yeah, like, should you really put your voice into space? But a bunch of people did it. Like, it was open, it was for everyone. So a lot of people partook of that experience, but some of us refrained just because, like, geez, the aliens and all that, I don't know. If they had to come here if they want to meet me.
Yeah. So, well, back to the creation story.
Oh, yeah, my favorite part, the Nihwatithith.
Yeah.
So, Nihwatithith, they said that there was nothing, there was no air, no land, no water. There was only mists, like different kinds of mists. So, like gaseous, foggy substance. So I always imagine like deep space in a nebula, like they colorize the photos that we get to see. So I imagine something like very beautiful because they talk about different clouds, a white cloud, a blue cloud, a dark cloud, like a glittering cloud.
Yeah.
Different kinds of clouds, like they were all in the same vicinity. And somehow, some kind of energy, Navajos say, it's like a great creative spirit, like a divine holy one, one of the first that are ever mentioned in Hajine Hanet. So Ya'asnit had so much of that love. I was talking about that Ayo Otne, and such creative ideas. It just that crystal light, that crystal fire, that white light. It is characterized by Ya'asnit Nayana. So incredible critical thinking skills. In addition to all of the other philosophies, Ya'asnit Nayana possessed all of those, and he knew it very, very well. And so, like, in the Big Bang Theory, they talk about, at some kind of instance, some kind of event that caused so much energy to go through the universe, expansion and creation of worlds and universes and suns and whole systems. So I like to think that Ya'asnit Nayana is that energy that caused that Big Bang event. So I like to bring these two ideas together. Like, Nehwatihir was a real place, it was a real time, it actually did happen. And science has come to the realization that there was an event, there was some kind of energy, some kind of creative force that caused our universe to come into being the way it did. And the way it did is so specific and beautiful that we have this earth that as it's known to be now. But Navajos know that it was Ya'asnit Nayana that had that divine idea to create it this way. Like, how could everything be so beautiful? Like that one Fibonacci sequence that we see in nature. Like, it's brilliant. It's amazing. And no other place in this whole universe that we know about so far has a place like this. Gravity and magnetic forces, solar winds, and all balance out so perfectly that we have water to drink, we have air to breathe, we have plants to eat, we have animals to eat. Like, we're all great right here in this very special place that even NASA scientists can't find another place in the universe like this.
There probably is, but the universe is still mass.
But all I'm saying is that we haven't found it yet, except for here, and the Ne are very well aware of that. And that's why Nehwatithith is my favorite part of the creation story.
All right. And how did this story impact your life?
Well, okay, so this has had a great impact on my life. I'd actually like to make a career out of it. I'm an academic, I'm a scholar, so I've done a lot of research, different kinds of interviews, different kinds of book work, different kinds of writings, different kinds of research, interviews, all kinds of stuff. So, Nehwatithith, just that creation story, and then also my love of geology and geoscience and, different kinds of earth building forces. I'm a geoscientist also. So it appeals to me that Nehwatithith makes sense, in like Big Bang theories, series of suns all the way to evolution here on Earth. Like, the whole creation story makes sense to me. And since I've been like what do you call it, assimilated through the boarding school system, and science and all those kinds of Western academia influences, the things that are allowed. These
celebrity gossip.
Some kind, like scientists say that this is allowed, this is possible, this can happen, and so I've been inside that system, and it's kind of created this problem of language loss and all that stuff. So dealing with that, this creation story is actually a way for me to really understand the universe. I like science already, but this stuff matches up for me. So I want to write it up. I already philosophize about this all the time. Like I think about this. This is like in my mind all the time. So it's just it's so much a big part of my work and my daily thoughts, my wanderings, that it affects everything I do. And I just might write it up. We see my name on the cover of a book. Just kidding.
All right. Well, that is all the time we have for today. If you enjoyed the podcast, please support us on Patreon at Laughing Coyote Entertainment, and we'll see you next time.